Yeah, let's go on. Let's go on. All right. I just want to ask you. It's we're just creating a little thing for BBC in it. It's just like a small little thing for them. It's like a creative remit thing for diversity. I just wanted to ask, like, has anything changed since early March?
I forgot to laugh.
The streets of Birmingham, a place of familiarity, a place that houses diversity, amazing food, art, culture, and once buzzing nightlife. The shackles of coronavirus restrictions has now locked everything up. As a result, many lay unemployed or working from home, and many as frontline workers are on the front line of uncertainty. As the city has moved into its second lockdown, me and my team wanted to understand the effects of coronavirus on people's mental health and how far they've coped in this new era of self-preservation and self-isolation.
You don't mind sparing a few seconds to answer a few questions? Right. We're shooting a little documentary for our university. It's about like how COVID has affected mental health in Birmingham's communities.
Ooh. So what do you want to know?
So yeah, it's like has life changed slightly since early March?
No, because I left my job beginning of last year, so I'm currently busy doing my flat, so it's okay.
Yeah, so is it like on furlough and stuff like that? How's that treating you?
No, it doesn't really affect me much. What affects me much is the small shops which are closed, which I think is really a shame.
Yeah.
So the small shops, the pubs, obviously.
100%. So how are you finding like the pubs being closed specifically? Was that part of like your socializing then, I suppose?
Yeah, I mean, if for example, if you live on your own and are restricted to a small bubble, you lose out on all that social side of being part of the community.
Yeah. No, 100%. So I just want to ask one final question before I let you go on with your day. But it's like, do you feel quite happy during lockdown? Because it's the second one. I know a lot of people who are kind of down, and some people are quite happy with it because their businesses are quite open. But how are you feeling?
I don't think we really have a choice. It's the difficult part is to imagine what's going to be after, if there is an after. I think we just need to get used to being careful. And there's no. I don't think there will be a definite date that will trigger that. Yeah, now it's completely over, because even if there is a vaccine, not everyone will want to have it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a different way of life, and where we need to be careful is that the government. So not so much here in England at the moment, but for example in France, I know that the government is trying to push new laws through. For reinforced security, and that's where everyone needs to be careful and be aware that our liberties are actually, our freedom is actually at risk.
Yeah. It's furlough has been extended to March though. Do you think there might be another lockdown?
No idea.
Thank you very much.
I don't think Boris knows, and nobody knows. You see, I mean. I'm not in favour, so I don't defend Boris Johnson or any other party. I think it's always very easy to criticise afterwards and say, oh, that's what you should have done. When it all started, nobody could actually predict how it would actually develop. So it's really easy to criticise afterwards. We need to try to be positive about working together.
Off to a great start, we began our day interviewing a Frenchman. He had quit his job early last year, meant that life had not changed financially, yet there seemed to be a toll on his social life since early March. Mentioning pubs was once his social bubble, coronavirus seemed to have burst his lifestyle. Now living on his own, many people alike in Birmingham and Britain seem to be living without social contact. A study led by the University of Glasgow examined the effects of COVID-19 during the height of the pandemic. Over 3,000 adults were surveyed and a range of mental health factors were considered, including depression, loneliness, suicide attempts, and self-harm. The study highlighted that young people, women, individuals from socially disadvantaged backgrounds, and individuals from pre-existing mental health problems reported the worst mental health outcomes. We wanted to explore further, so we went on to the pursuit to ask more people what changed for them since early March and whether they were happy
Mental
during
health,
lockdown.
about during lockdown and stuff. I just want to ask has anything changed since early March?
For me, it actually did because I'm from Portugal, and if university didn't shut down the other lockdown, I wouldn't be able to go home. So it actually was good for my mental health.
Yeah.
But some people couldn't go home, and I know a lot of people is struggling a lot. But overall, it's actually good for my mental health and stuff.
So may I ask which university?
UCB.
Oh, UCB.
Yeah.
Alright, okay. So it's in which ways has life kind of changed right now?
Jobs and stuff for me. I'm not working since March. So it's been kind of hard because I want to go to university and be able to be with my friends, to do some group work without being Zoom class and stuff. So yeah.
Okay. And just one final question before I let you off in your day is do you feel happy at the moment during lockdown?
Yes, at the moment, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very
For
much.
me, coming from the U.S. where there's no lockdowns whatsoever and it's out of control, and now that I live here, it's I'm actually grateful for the lockdowns. But so I have a different perspective because I know every person in my life knows at least 3 people that are infected with COVID right now back home. So it's a different perspective where I think we should be grateful for the lockdowns. It is tough on mental health. We have nothing to look forward to really. We can't just pop and grab a beer tonight kind of thing, But I think in the grand scheme of things, it's worth that because I know people that are personally dying right now back home. So, like I said, I come from the land where everyone's chanting about freedom and my liberties and that. But I think it's when it comes to public health and safety, and I'm a healthcare worker myself, and I know lots of them, and coming from with coworkers that are drowning with cases and hospitals overflowing, I think people kind of need to look outside themselves a bit there. But I know my mental health has taken a toll with it all too. Everyone's has. I think the biggest thing is just not having that normality, but knowing that it's just temporary, I think is what gives us hope.
One final question before I let you guys go and go back to your day. Are you feeling happy during lockdown?
No, not really, but I know mentally it's for the better good, if that makes sense. So it's rubbish, it's crap for everybody, but in the long run, we should turn out better than doing nothing.
It's hard to feel happy right now when the news is all just kind of despair and everyone's just grumpy and stuck in their apartments. But I wouldn't classify myself as happy right now.
I think the real question is, do you want your life or do you want to lose it? What is the extent?
I should be asking that question.
Yeah. If you do everything and we go out and then we get it and then we're one of the people that suffers with it badly.
How much was that night out at the restaurant
was that worth it to get the virus?
Yeah.
And that's the big question.
I think people don't ask that question enough, is how much is your night out with friends worth it?
Yeah, no, 100%. I should be asking that question too, man. You should be on the other side. I should be hanging out with you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my name is Laszlo, in a sergeant in the Hungarian military. Yes.
Do you do?
I'm doing a tunnel construction right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was your role in the military?
Yeah, I'm a four in the military.
What did you do in the military though? Were you captain, general?
No, sergeant. I'm a sergeant. Yeah, I'm a sergeant.
What do you think about COVID?
I'm nothing to think about it. This is fake. He's a fucking fake. I told you. I want to say I told you it's a fucking fake corona. Because, you know, in the government stop its economy. Try to stop its economy. But why they do like this? Why do like this? In economy stop it.
How do you feel?
Me feel
Yeah, about COVID.
about COVID. Look at me. I'm a stand-up here. Yeah, I'm a straight. And I say, I'm a Sergeant Laszlo in Hungarian military. Yes? So I'm fine. I'm fine about this. But you know, too many people in the fucking shit believe in the fucking shit corona because it's not good. It's not good about this.
You happy right now, Laszlo?
Yeah,
You happy in life?
yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy right now. Yeah, but you know, I don't like believe in the people. Look at the people. Yeah, look at the people. Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Is it a believe in a fake corona? But is it a corona in the fake, man? Is it not a fucking fake? Yes, that's why I am. I want to talk about this. I am.
As much as it seemed for Sergeant Laszlo, feeling happy wasn't just the only emotion. Many people in the UK questioning the legitimacy of the virus wasn't based around ignorance. Instead, to me and my team, it seemed more about feeling frustrated on how the government had reacted to early prevention of COVID-19. Sergeant Laszlo may not be right, but there always is a possibility that he may not be wrong.
Has life changed slightly for you then since early March?
Personally, for me, I've got a business that's actually doing quite well during lockdown, but it's still obviously affected us all mentally in terms of not being able to go out and obviously see friends, family, just like we would usually, especially travelling and going on holiday and going abroad. It feels like you're a bit trapped in your own country, so definitely a level of freedom has disappeared.
Yeah. So just a personal question, like what business do you have?
Yeah, so it's an antibacterial liquid chalk, so it's used in the gyms, rock climbing centres, and any kind of sporting facilities. So it's something I was working on actually a couple of years before we went into lockdown. I saw a gap in the market, but making it antibacterial was obviously the key. It's obviously helping sporting facilities stay cleaner. So it's done really well due to that aspect, really.
Yeah, COVID and stuff like that.
I don't know if you've ever used like magnesium, like the gymnasts use it and stuff like that, but antibacterial, anything at the moment is gonna do well.
It's, I just want to ask you another question. Has life changed for you since March?
Yeah, of course, because our work has dropped from, if it was 100%, for example, it's dropped literally down to 5%, 10%.
That's a drastic change for taxi drivers, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah, because our work is from hotels, the office workers, theatres, indoor arenas, and the clubs and bars, and they all have been shut for majority of the time. The black cabs in Birmingham, 1,200 black cabs, they all cater for disabled passengers and elderly passengers. What's happened is with the pandemic and with drivers leaving the trade, the 1,200 black cab vehicles that was serving the disabled people in the whole of the West Midlands have been cut down to probably 500-600 vehicles. Yeah. So who's losing out? The disabled people who were using black cabs, relying on black cabs to take them to their hospital appointments throughout the day, or if they were going to a function or the dentist appointment, and they were relying heavily on black cabs. And because of this pandemic, the reduction has gone down to low levels of vehicles available. Same in London as well, but Birmingham is affected. You'll see it in the next few months. Disabled people will be calling taxis and taken for hospital appointments, and because there's no suitable vehicles available, they'll be waiting for a good hour for a suitable taxi to come. But the question is, Birmingham City Council and the government, they don't care they don't care about these disabled people.
You don't mind answering a few questions? You don't mind? Yeah. All right, awesome. I just want to ask, like, has anything changed since early March for you guys?
Yeah, it has. Like from March, the day before lockdown began, my uncle passed away. It wasn't due to COVID, but it's the fact that we couldn't bring his body over to England. We had to. My family had to go to Pakistan for his funeral, and it just caused repercussions from.
Are you Pakistani?
Yeah.
All right. So was it like difficult then to get like your visa and stuff like that, or?
It wasn't. I couldn't go because I had other things to do over here. But for my family, it was quite hard for them because a lot of the last minute, the emergency tickets, they were running out rapidly. So a limited amount of people could go.
How do you feel though? Like since that, man, do you regret it?
Regret not going, do you mean? In a way I do and in a way I don't, because if I went there it would have affected my mental health a lot more because I would see a lot of my family members cry. I know how mourning and grieving does to a person. The effects of that would have repercussions on my mental health as well. So in a way, I'm happy that I didn't go.
And what about you, bro?
Like, what was the question again?
Nah, it's all good. So has anything changed since early March for you, bro?
Yeah, it's just like dealing with like, so I'm a student and I don't know like what's going to happen with my exams or I'm going to do them or not. It's a bit like difficult, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I just want to ask that, has anything changed since then?
Yeah, in a way it has. It's opened one or two doors for me in terms of getting a job, for example. But at the same time, due to COVID, the deductions for me has been quite big.
With the revelation that death had impacted our interviewee's mental health, it was clear to see that coronavirus had indirectly affected some people too. He felt a little sad, and I know I would too. Yet he left us with a positive note, mentioning he found a job. At least his life had now found structure and has allowed his days to be filled with productivity. While we were talking, a group had hurdled us in. Thinking they would end up as clickbait, they did just that. So we decided to ask the main man of the group. Here is what he had to say.
Well, I think nothing changed because it's getting worse. So now that we stayed in lockdown for at least 4 weeks, there's tier 1, 2 and 3, am I right?
Yeah.
Which the government's trying to make it worse. And I don't know what's the point of us staying in lockdown for another 4 weeks and then Boris Johnson coming with that, so I think we're gonna, he panics a little bit. But BBC, BCC, whatever, I'm pissed on you. You let someone, a white guy, say the N-word on live. Anyways, this coronavirus thing is just getting worse. I don't know what to say. I'm happy McDonald's is still open. And all I can say is God bless all the people and the elderlies and the poor people that can't afford things this pandemic, and amen.
Yeah, alright man, thank you man. Thank you. I just want to ask, are you like happy during lockdown and that?
You know, I'm kind of happy because normally I go to make money, but now everything is closed and I have to stay in the house and my dad doesn't have to force me, you know.
Okay, well, alright, thank you man. Thank you very much. Yeah.
As we got our interview wrapped, the police had spotted us as a large group. I didn't pay enough attention to my surroundings, a costly problem that I was too broke to pay, neither shooting something for the BBC or for university. Our criminal records was the only thing on the line.
In relation to the COVID regulations, we've got to check that you've got leave to be here.
No, it's we're just shooting a little thing for university.
Is it part of your course?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's media production.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're just doing something because like BBC, it's just like a little opportunity about like creative diversity and stuff because they want more Southeast Asian people on TV or like just on the YouTube channel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like it's just something. It's not really for them. I mean, it's not like hired by them. It's just like we want to give it to them.
Okay.
Yeah, because they want to see more brown people. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, come on, man.
I'm answering a couple of questions.
Yeah.
As long as it's not political.
No.
That's the thing about COVID. I wouldn't like to give you bad advice, but as I understand, unless you've got a press pass, you're not really supposed to be out congregating and causing other people to not social distance.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid we'd have to give you what's called a dispersal to leave.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, I don't want to be a party pooper. It's a good cause.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're just scaring me a high grade, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
We don't have to take names or anything. It's just that to reduce the chance of people congregating, we have to ask you to.
So before we leave, could we just ask two questions?
Go on then.
All right. So basically, we're just documenting how COVID has affected people's mental health in Birmingham's communities. We just wanted to ask you, has anything changed for you guys since early March?
Yeah, well, the priorities have certainly changed in relation to what we're responding to, and of course, we never had anything like this before with the COVID regulations. So we're trying the new things out as well in relation to the legislation, which keeps changing. But that's changed. But apart from that, at least police officers have been able to come to work. So that's.
Now I've heard there's been some public cuts on police officers and stuff like that on the policing industry. How do you feel about that?
Oh, well, I wouldn't like to comment on that, I'm afraid.
That's a bit too. You guys happy during this lockdown though?
No.
That's
No, I've hated being at home. Just little things you feel like, oh, can I do it? Can I not? Just going to the supermarket. Yeah, I haven't liked it at all.
Personally, I don't think anyone would be happy in the lockdown, because you're going to understand people's lives have changed completely, and I feel like we're living in a time that's so much uncertainty. So in terms of, you have to accept it's happened, and when you're a believer, you've got there's a God, there's Allah there that would help you, but spiritually, if you've got that, it's good. If you haven't, there's going to be people that are going to struggle. Yeah.
So you think faith is playing into why you're so happy at the moment?
Yeah, spot on. I completely agree with that. I think faith is a huge thing. I think people that have faith, they will, not that will deal with it better, but you've got something to look forward to, because everything isn't in this life. There's a life after here, and I think faith plays a huge part of how you deal with anything in life, not just with COVID, because this happened, but anything in life, and I think that has a huge impact. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for answering those questions. So yeah, if you could just
Oh yeah, please.
Last question. Can I be a model?
Come on. We have video cameras, but it's could you just sign a consent form?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.